I'm here to talk about this week's jackpot with Mshamba. Kwani Mshamba uko wapi?
Niko hapa. Kwani unioni?
Kwani what's the occasion?
Wewe ujui? Si leo tuna introduce millionaires kwa Millionaires Club. Umejua hao ni millionaires tangu ndoto waanze. Angalia, kuna John kutoka Dagoretti, kuna huyu Rose kutoka Ruiru. Unangoja nini? Unaweza kuwa among this list. Ukifanya nini? Cheza Lotto. Join Millionaires Club.
Win every day with Lotto. Play now and you could win a guaranteed 200,000 shillings in the daily jackpot tonight. Plus, you can be one of 10 players to take home 10,000 shillings today. You will also get a free chance to win a guaranteed 1.2 million shillings this Saturday. Cheza to Zidi Pamoja. Send 50 shillings to paybill 777 Account Ebru. Over 18s only. Gaming can be addictive. Play responsibly. This message has been approved by the BCLB.
Been anywhere else in the world, but you decided to spend your Thursday evening with us, and for that we are grateful, and it's our job to make sure we entertain you for this 50 minutes we have with you. Thank you so much for being here, and if this is your first time, this is Let's Talk. My name is Lydia KM, and that's Lydia KM on all social media handles.
My name is Dana DeGrazia. It's Hustle Goddess Online, and I'm so happy to be here with you.
I hope you guys are doing well. My name is Naomi Wamboy, W-A-M-B-O-E, on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter.
And I'm Joanne Muni. I've not said my last name.
Oh my God.
Yes, Joanne Muni. That's my husband's name. Yeah. And I'm at yammymami.ke on all social media platforms. So happy to be here, guys. This is one of my favorite times of the day, literally.
I honestly,
Ours too.
being on this sea is like, I'm so grateful. Like, you know, so many people would love to have their dream jobs, but we get to do it every Wednesday, Thursday, Friday for a whole hour. I'm so grateful.
Not only is there our dream jobs, we have like dream audience, dream viewers, dream fans.
Exactly.
Like, we're so happy. Even just today, I got stopped by someone, and it was just in the middle of a supermarket, and he's like, I can't believe you're here. And I was like, well, we also need toilet paper, but thank you. And he was like, I really love your show. And I was like, thank you. As a guy coming up to me and saying you love it. Oh, nice. And it was just amazing. But other than that, just to let you guys know, it's actually Conflict Resolution Day, funny enough. So we are here to, that's why we have asked the girls to resolve any and all bad energy in your life. And we're going to get right into it now because it's time for Hot Talk.
Ladies, we're on top. Hey, we're on top. Hey.
So on Hot Talk today, our first story is from someone called Akothee, which, do we need to introduce her?
No. We know her.
We don't need to introduce her. I mean, she is just like, I mean, personally for me, I just find her an icon. Whenever I see her put up a post on Instagram, I'm just like, let's see what the comments are gonna say, because guys are gonna be up in arms. So recently she was in the news because she put up an Instagram post talking about how she gives her daughters 20,000 every single month for pocket money, and this is over and above what she spends on them for upkeep. So upkeep could be, I guess, transport, doing their hair, you know, like food and things like that. And basically what her explanation was that the 20,000 is so that people, her daughters, her 3 daughters, because she has 3 daughters, 2 sons, her 3 daughters don't go looking for sponsors or, you know, like sugar daddies and whatnot. And we had such an interesting discussion about this before the show, and we're like, is that enough to make someone not look for a sugar daddy, you know? First of all, I think, right, they're not just kids.
Okay, but aren't the most of them kind of their younger, early 20s kind of thing at most?
20s is not kids.
Not a kid.
Not a kid, but at the end of the day, it's just like, I don't know, I still feel them as young. They're identified as Akothee's children. Like, they're young. I feel like to suddenly be discussing this stuff is weird.
To answer this question, I personally feel like an allowance a month. I think it's nice. You know, I used to, well, no, growing up we never got
in
allowance,
university. When
in
you're
university, okay, yes, I did
get a job.
And actually that did make me like, I didn't need to go out and find a guy. Like, I was always in a place where I was okay. Like, my parents had always provided for me. So in my mind, and I had friends that like their whole job was, oh, let me find a guy so he can pay for my rent, pay for this, pay for that. I never had that mindset. And I guess because I was okay with where I was at. So I think that this does help, but I feel like to each their own. Like personally, if that daughter feels like stepping out and getting somebody to pay her bills, maybe she wants $100,000 a month instead of $20,000. I don't think it's gonna limit them to a certain point, but if she has that conversation with her kids, I think that will definitely.
And what's good is that in the article, she actually said that her daughters are always complaining that the 20,000 is too little. So it's like she's giving them enough so that they're not like, you know, like, oh God, where am I gonna get money to even go out to eat or go out with my friends? But also it's little enough that they also have to think, okay, how do I hustle? How do I get more money?
true.
Like, can I get a side gig or something?
When, like the parents we are tend to be because of the children we were or we weren't. So for example, Akothee said her childhood she felt was robbed from her because she constantly had to be thinking about money. So some of the things that she did because she didn't have enough money, she feels that she wants to try her best to limit her daughters doing the same. And I always say this, a lot of the things which we go through as people is because of the amount of options we have. So for example, I've never thought of hurting someone for money because I've been blessed to have options on how to get money before I hurt someone else. The person who's going to steal or harm other people for money, they have limited options. So I can totally understand the sentiment of, let me do my part to do the best I can to try and prevent that, so that if they do step out, they were stepping out because they needed luxury, not because they needed their basic needs. So I get that, but it definitely doesn't stop someone who wants to do it.
Well, I mean, of course, not only like any mother would want the children to be in the position where they wouldn't feel like paupers, where they wouldn't feel like they're desperate. So I understand that she's coming from of the needs being met. The thing is though, is they do see where her mother is, and maybe they might want a little bit more. So I think at the end of the day, not only do you want to give your kids what they want, but you want to give them a good ethic, a work ethic for their life.
Yeah, it's true. And let me tell you, I feel like this is something which I guess parents probably do conflict over, is what's too much, am I spoiling them, am I directing them the right way? If you've ever been in that position or you feel maybe your personally 20K is not enough, the hashtag is Ebru Let's Talk and the SMS line is 40920. Let us know what you think. Now, moving on to another beautiful songstress, Nadia Mukami, who is my namesake, by the way. Not many people know my name is actually Mukami, but I'm not Meru, I'm Kikuyu. We have this vibe all the time with people. So essentially, she was talking about something which I feel a lot of women may or may not agree with. She said that she feels that there's double standards about how women are treated once they cheat. I'm going to read the quote. She says, why is it that we take men back after all those things, but when a woman dares cheat with just one man, is a drug addict, sleeps with all your friends what is happening? Sleeps with all your friends, no one would want to be associated with her. In fact, she's an outcast. These are double standards. She also added, yes or no, support your answer. For me, this is a no, a big no. Why is it that we can take men back after all the things that they do, but when a woman cheats with just one, I can't repeat myself, sorry. Anyway, so she essentially said that there's double standards because when men cheat, when they go through all these bad things, when they take you through so much crap, you as a woman, number one, you're kind of expected to do it. It's actually attractive for you to stay with them. But you have coffee with your coworker out.
Yeah. And this was even supported by other story that was going on where Andy Kibe criticized his co-host about how like she revealed that she cheated on the guy who she was with for a total of 3 years and she cheated for 2.5, and he's like, that's disgusting, just get out of his house kind of thing. But in the story, she also said that he cheated on her at the beginning, and she did do it for revenge, which you can't really say is the best choice. Yeah, Kamenegoro. You can't really see as the best choice, but she's right. There's a massive double standard, because if that guy was cheating for 2.5 years, it would have been like, well, girl, you either needed to get smart or get out kind of thing. You know, it would have been, there's no real way for women to win in the scenario. So I get the double standard she is going for, but women have different expectations in life. I'm not saying they're good or bad, but the society we exist in, we're expected different things, and therefore this is what happins to us.
I asked a guy who was, I was just like, you know when you're talking to a guy, so we're just talking about this double standard. And he said, I was like, why is it that, women, like, you know, they will stay like after this, after that, and, you know, and men don't. And he said, you choose to. There's so many things that all of us as women, we aren't all doing the same thing. So why do we feel like these kind of double standards we all have to be applied to us? No, it's your choice. He just said it's a choice. He's like, I will choose not to be with someone who cheats on me. End of conversation. Doesn't matter what people are going to think. And if you apply that in your life, no matter what pressure other people are putting up on you, it's your choice to do it. And I choose not.
I love that. I like that. And you know what I think? I think it's good that there's double standards. I think it's good that women are held to a higher standard. Why do women always want to be held to the same low standard that men are held to? Like, cheating is bad. So like, if you do it, you should be held to like the worst consequences because you did a bad thing.
We should just
you know exactly. So we actually, men are the ones who should be complaining like, why aren't you holding us to as higher standard? Because it's a fantastic thing.
Of course they're not
that we are being that we are being
easy.
held to a higher standard. Like, I feel like if you as a woman decide to do it, then if you know society beats down on you, then well, why did you, like you were saying yesterday, if you have to do something that you're going to be ashamed about, or you're going to have to hide about, why are you even doing it?
I mean, this is a male-dominated like society, but and yes, men should be held more accountable for their actions. I definitely think so, but I don't feel like women should be like shown like they're lesser than dirt when they cheat. Because,
That's the thing.
But everyone is
because
lesser than dirt
at the
when
end
they
of the
cheat.
day, it is a choice, yes, but this is the society we live in. We should just be holding everyone, as far as to a human action like cheating, to the same standard. Because if humans all are capable of cheating, then why is one gender worse off for cheating? I think that's the discussion she wants to have. But this is a discussion that I can feel all of us wanting to have more and more and more of. So we want to know what you have to think. Get on the hashtag Ebru Let's Talk or the text tone 40920. Do you think that the double standard even exists? And do you think it's a good thing that it exists? The next story is something that also talks about double standards, but we're going to focus on women because unfortunately it does affect us more, is Avril. Body positivity affects all genders across the board, but she was talking about the fact that she's postpartum and still having issues with her body and people talking about it. She actually has the quote of, you know, it's leave flat tummies to the snakes kind of thing, but women do face this more. And after she's had a baby, she's like, listen, you guys, I'm focused on motherhood. I'm not going to be focused on what I look about right now. But this is a powerful statement. I'd actually like to know what you have to think, Joe, because you are like a body positivity woman and activist, I'd call you.
First of all, did you guys see the picture that she posted? I mean,
She looks great. She looks fantastic.
where is the rest of the stomach that you're talking about, sis? You know what I'm
She
saying?
looks fantastic.
She looks amazing, but I guess anyway, like to yourself, you wouldn't look as amazing as other people always say. Like I sometimes just wake up, I'm just like, and guys like, wow, you look beautiful. I'm just like, I don't feel it, you know, kind of thing.
We beat ourselves.
Exactly. But I think it's amazing that she's reached a point where, you know, it's been like over a year since she had a child and she's feeling confident in her body and everything. So I think absolutely, I'm like, leave flat tummies to Lydia because Lydia's tummy
And
is like
by
this
the
table.
way-
It is not. Okay. And that's the thing. You think that, but I'm going to the gym to do my crunches because I'm like, it's not flat enough.
Like your Insta story today where you are sideways, I was like, I can't even post one like that because like my stomach was
But
in the ground.
you have a
but the
baby
point-
in it.
No, the point that you're saying though is that the way, as you're saying that my stomach is so flat. But for me, I'm
Exactly.
like, no, there's still extra that's got to go. So I can imagine what it's like
Yeah.
to not only feel like that in yourself, because we all feel like that as women, as men even, but then on top of that, to have had a baby, something which adversely changes your body beyond your control.
Yeah.
Then on top of that, you have the pressure that people are always asking you, when are you going to get back to zero? When are you going to get back
Snap
to
back.
that? You know, it's a lot. But I feel like the more women are like, what you think of me or the picture you have of my body is your responsibility, the better off we are. And this goes to when you're so slim and people keep telling you that you need to
You're
put on
too
more weight.
skinny.
Why are you too skinny? It goes both ways. And
Yeah.
the more you tell yourself that my body is like this and it's made this way and I love it this way and I'm going to do it, I'm going to lose that weight when I want to lose that weight. If
I want
at
to.
all.
Yeah, no, I don't think I could have said it differently because I think to each woman, they have a certain like what they see in the mirror of themselves is like what they believe, you know? So it's like everybody else can see something, but if you're not feeling confident in your body and your shape, then you're not confident. And if you are big and have a stomach like I do, hey, and you're feeling confident, like even Avril said, she goes to the gym only for her personal gain, not to get smaller or nothing, but to
But
feel beautiful.
you've mentioned before about how like people started making comments about you getting bigger. Like so when someone would make a comment about your body like having changed, what do you say?
In the beginning, it was really hard. Like I had a hard time with it because I didn't know what to, because I was getting, oh, are you pregnant? Oh, did you have a baby? I'm like, okay, that's kind of invasive, but dang, you had to take me there. But it was hard. Like I went through a whole process, but I had to find in myself and love myself. It's more like just confidence, you know? So let us know. The hashtag is Ebru Let's Talk and the SMS is 40920. How do you feel about your body and the positivity of it all? So this next segment we're going to is one of our favorite segments. It's Ask the Girls. So for this segment, we want to thank you guys all for whoever DM'd us your questions. We are still going through them and we will answer them. Make sure to send us your DMs at Ebru Let's Talk _official on Instagram. So we have a young lady here asking a question. Okay, bear with me, y'all. This is some weird kind of English. Okay, a friend of mine is puzzled. Meets this guy that seems like he's got his ish together, a house, a car, etc. He's a single dad with a healthy co-parenting with the mom of his daughter. This guy is in his late 30s, I'm guessing. The relationship started off great, but he's hot and cold and drifts a bit. Claims business isn't doing well. So she later snoops and finds he's been keeping close friendships with women he's dated before, and he has a habit of borrowing money from them. This doesn't sit well with the lady. Which is actually causing a drift in their relationship. Oh, funny part is when they met, they used to have boundless intercourse. Now he's on the vibe, let's wait till marriage talk. Confused sister. Boy, stop. You could have stopped right there. But anyways, the question is, why can't he borrow his family or male peers? Okay, most of his friends are females, even younger by age, whom he calls his boys. Honestly, she needs to court of public opinion. Okay, so this friend is asking for a friend about this male. So one of the questions, I guess, the main question is, what are the boundaries that your man or whatever, what are the boundaries that men should have with their female friends? I mean, to go to the lengths of borrowing money, I know right off the bat, that's a no-no. Don't know. He has some other means.
You can borrow money from anybody. Why a female?
Why a friend? But not your ex.
Not your ex. No, see, that's the thing. Me, my line is not necessarily with a female friend. My line is drawn at the exes. First of all, your relationship with your exes, like the way you sit about it says so much about you. You know, I feel like I told Joe this when we were upstairs. If you've got to discuss these boundaries, there is already a problem, because guess what? When you're in a committed relationship, I have a lot of male friends. I have very close male friends, but the second I go into a relationship or I'm in a relationship with somebody who I care about, I already know how to handle myself with that. And because they are also respectful on my end, there's nothing going on there, they know how to sit too. So when it's they're calling all the time, you guys, he's basically going to his female friends about things he should come to you about. That I feel like is a problem, and I feel like the openness is already dead, because as long as you are keeping it a secret, it's a problem.
Exactly. And then the fact that you found out about these things by snooping. You know, it's like he's hot and cold, so you're already like, you're doubting. You find out that he's been having these secret, you know, it's different if like you're in bed, let's say you're somewhere and then someone calls you like, oh, it's just, you know, it's my ex, and he picks up and you're there. But like when it's a secret, and that he already knows that it's wrong. So I mean, the boundary has already been crossed. Whether or not it's about the fact that they are female or they are exes, that in itself is not the problem. It's the way that if he has to keep a secret about it, if you have to have issues about it, if he's already hot and cold and now he's refusing to engage in intercourse.
By the way.
See, now that's the thing. That's the thing. The fact that it, like, all of these things are compiling, like, sure, you snooped, whatever, we're going to glaze over the invasion of privacy part. But at the end of the day, like, he's hot and cold. He doesn't really want to get intimate with you. He's borrowing money from exes who he calls the boys, which implies to me that it's like he's trying to make up for the fact he's so close with them. So compiling all of that together is just going to affect, like, the trust in a relationship, no matter what it is. For me, I'm kind of like, okay, so you used to get hot and heavy all the time, and now suddenly you're like, no, we we gotta wait until after marriage. But also you're hot and cold about the relationship. So is marriage even where you heading?
Exactly.
It doesn't make any sense.
I was reading, I think it was a meme which was saying like your relationship is not a math problem, so you shouldn't have to be figuring out, does this guy like me? Does he not like it's obvious. If you have to ask yourself those questions,
He's just not that
it's
into
not working.
you.
But you know what I find interesting is that yesterday we were mentioning about how a woman has the right to change her mind whenever.
Yeah.
Then
So
I was
does a
thinking,
guy.
does a guy have a right to change his mind whenever? Because like maybe
does.
at the beginning he was like he didn't care about celibacy, and then now maybe he met Jesus.
But then
and
it's
now
my
he
decision
cares.
whether I want to walk that Jesus road with you.
Yeah.
That's just the point.
'Cause you don't-
It's my choice.
It's true.
So to answer her question, what would you say, Joanne?
With the first question.
Yes, for the first question.
For the first question, I feel like the boundaries have already been crossed. And if you're uncomfortable about something, you have a discussion. And I always say this, if your partner's reception is not, whoa, I didn't think this would make you uncomfortable, we can adjust it. If that's not the reception, 9 out of 10 times he's defending something else that's a bit deeper, in my personal opinion.
Exactly. And I think even another issue is that this guy doesn't seem like he can manage his finances well, because honestly, it just seems, I don't know, it just seems tacky that, and
then he's not being open
and he's not
with
being
you.
open, and the fact that even the way the lady has phrased the conversation, it's like she hasn't even had the conversation with him, because she's asking us why can't he borrow from his family and male peers, like sis,
Ask him.
he needs to, you need to ask, although it was phrased as like it's her friend who's going through it, but you know, we don't know.
Tell your friends.
Exactly. But there's so many things which seem shifty and shady about this guy, and if your gut is telling you no, it's a no.
Yeah. At the end of the day, more likely than not, your gut is actually telling you the truth.
Yes.
Because at the end of the day, it is so difficult to force yourself to be comfortable. I mean, to force yourself to be comfortable, to me, is like oxymoronic in a way. You just can't. So if you're standing there and you're just not feeling the vibe to the girl in the relationship, then maybe this friend who sought advice for you can help you out of it and be like, listen, I know you really like this guy, but maybe, take your girl out for a girl's night and get out there.
And that's what I was gonna say, especially for the girl that's in the relationship, if she even cares. Like, that's the question. Trust your gut and you'll know. When you know, you'll know.
Yeah. But as far as being in the boundaries that you feel like your man should have with his female friends, or like females that he interacts with, what do you guys feel is normal? What do you guys feel is like the boundary? Like, okay, even if he's open, are there things that you'd be like, no, like let's say he goes out and he's always going out with this chick, but it's like open. He's like, oh, you can come if you want. But like they go out, they stay out late until like, I don't know, 1 a.m., 2 a.m. He texts you, oh yeah, I got home. Are you comfortable with that? Like, are you comfortable with your man hanging out with his exes?
That often about anything is always a problem. For example, if I call my man and I tell him, I'm going out with one of my friends, Joe, Carrie, whoever, right? And it's a guy, I just happened to meet him, let's go out. That's a one-time incident, which totally makes sense that, I'm not going to ignore him because he's a man. But then today, then next
what if he says,
week,
she's my bestie? She's my bestie.
first of all, I'm not getting in a relationship with any man who has a bestie when a female bestie where they're 24/7 all the time together. My one of my exes had a friend who were very close as a female, but she didn't live here. So it was like, this one time when she comes around, it's like, they go out here and there, or I'll be around. It's that one I can see why you intensely need to spend time with her, because she doesn't live here. But this 24/7 thing with another female, I also have friends, guy friends who I could spend that much time with, and you wouldn't like it. Anything that your guy is telling you that it's comfortable, but if you turned it around, he said you can't do it, he knows it's wrong.
I had a friend back in the States, and like she used to be my best friend, real close, and she brought this guy over, and we were poking fun at him and whatever, and he got real uncomfortable about it, like, oh, my friends would never treat like that, and we kind of realized that he was uncomfortable in the relationship, because it turns out that he was actually living with his quote-unquote best friend who's a female. And then, when they broke up, shock and awe, these guys were actually sleeping together. It's like you lived together. There was no boundaries between the two of you. And I think that that's something that you kind of have to establish early on. You have to figure out what are you going to be the most comfortable with, because you're right, if the situations were turned, who's going to be uncomfortable there, who's going to be forcing issues.
I think
Neither one of you should be
no,
uncomfortable.
No, I don't believe in that whole bestie thing, especially of
We
the
grew up
opposite
together.
sex. Like,
She's like my sister.
If you grew up together, that's fine. But if we're in a relationship,
she
we have
better
to
be
have
like the
we
sister.
have boundaries. We have boundaries, and we're gonna set them right then and there. And that bestie is gonna know the boundaries as well, because that's your best friend, and that's how we're gonna handle it.
Exactly. I think boundaries are just important in any relationship. Anytime you get into a relationship, even the boundaries he has with his family, the boundaries he has with his colleagues, the boundaries he has with everyone. I think it's just absolutely important. Yeah.
Can I tell you who, if this is you or your friend?
Your friend.
What I feel is that a lot of the times when I was second guessing my own gut and I was trying to be comfortable with something that made me uncomfortable, it was really stemming from how I felt about myself. Because I didn't feel like I didn't value myself enough, I wanted to hold on to this person because they were making me feel like I was valued. However small, it was way more than how I felt for myself. So the more you turn your life in general about how do I feel about myself, I value myself, I'm important, I'm gorgeous, I'm beautiful, can be with whoever I want. When somebody makes you uncomfortable, you're able to stand up to them and tell them, listen, I love you, but I love me more. And this is making me uncomfortable. And if that's okay, that's how you want to live your life. But for me to be in your life, that won't run. You will have the guts to tell people to get in and out of your life whenever it is because you value yourself. It's always about that.
It's about workability.
And you won't be scared to like let go of this person. Because I feel like right now women are just like, where do you find a good man? So you find a guy who has a house, he has cars and everything, he seems to have his life together. Then you're like, no, but I think I can just let go of this one small thing. I think I can just then before you know it, you're married to someone who you're just like, but I mean, so what about the house and the cars? Because now you have to live with this person who has a horrible personality. And it's really hard. So don't settle.
Yeah, and a lot of these guys who are like, super successful
like
and they have cars and whatever else, the energy that they're going to meet you with is confidence. So if you don't meet them with confidence too, the equilibrium is gonna be like this. So it's always gonna be, he feels that he can do whatever he wants because he is straight up saying, I'm not going to be touching you until we get married. And he's imposed that in a relationship, which that wasn't what it was in the beginning, and he feels he can get away with it. So here the balance is he thinks he's the don and he can do what he wants, and because you're not there yet and that's okay, you're not feeling that good about yourself, you don't feel like you have the courage. And that's the worst situation to be in.
I think it's interesting though, because I actually have a friend who's here and he's actually a deacon in his church, and so he got together with this girl and they started the relationship physically intimate, and he's going back and forth like battling with himself doing it. Yeah, he's a deacon. And so deacons can still I don't know if deacons can still get down, but yeah, he's a deacon.
It's not advice.
I'm not gonna say his name, but he's heavily involved in the church and he's in this relationship. Now she is a church-going girl, but not necessarily a church girl, and so that's a huge conflict in the relationship. And he actually asked me what to do about it, and was like, listen, the issue is that when you started off in this way of like being intimate and now you don't want to be, but you're going back and forth, what you really do is just making this girl suffer, because if you're setting this pillar in your relationship that it's not going to be a pillar for her relationship, you're kind of doing the same thing as just stringing her along, because she could have gone out and found someone who is still, a godly man, but is okay with having, okay with doing it.
I feel like this tends to come from let's say I like oranges, and you meet someone who's a banana, right? I've met a banana. Instead of, oh, hey, banana girl. Instead of saying, no, I want oranges and these are bananas, so I'm just gonna scoot over and look for my oranges. You are like, how do you turn oranges into bananas? And you don't. You don't. All you do is spend your time squeezing this banana into orange juice.
But you know what's interesting? Actually, when my husband and I met, we started off, we were, being intimate, and then we went to church this one day, like together, and we got a sermon about like how we should abstain. So we were like, okay, babe, we should just try, and we tried for like, a few hours. And it worked for those few hours, but after that, it didn't quite work. But at least we're on the same wavelength that we want to try, but we didn't. Yeah. But we're really interested in knowing what you think at home. Please tell us, what are the boundaries that your man should have with his female friends? Is it okay for your man to borrow money? I don't think it's okay for anybody.
At all.
But please let us know. The SMS line is 40920, and you can also use the hashtag Ebru Let's Talk on our social media platforms, and we would love to hear from you.
So I'm just gonna read this. I feel like most of us do know Gucci Man. If you don't know Gucci Man is a very
Gucci Mane.
Gucci Mane. He's a very popular rapper, and he's had this very transform from old Gucci to new Gucci. Now, he was with the same person pretty much throughout the old Gucci days to the new Gucci days, and they're now married, clearly very happily married, and we're also happy for them. Now, I'm going to read this caption. Everyone wants this, but what you'll forget was she was with wild Gucci, Gucci on drugs, cheating Gucci, in jail Gucci, publicity with other women Gucci. This is Gucci after therapy and rehabilitation. This is a street man groomed in his 30s after he's been at his lowest point. Point is, this is a rider who knew that what she signed up for. You girls, you beautiful women, is with another man after a couple of fights. So the question of today is ride or die a real thing? And this is ride or die because, as you see, cheating Gucci, on drugs Gucci,
jail.
In jail Gucci.
Ice cream cone juice.
She went through so much, and majority of the times none of us knew that he had a girlfriend because he was that living his life as a single man. She was just in the background, and then when he went to jail, she held down, and apparently he gave her $2 million, and she spent it to about 20 million. So that time in jail is what he changed. He rehabilitated, he went to therapy, all that, and he transformed himself, and they've had this beautiful love affair after he left. Is ride or die a real thing? Yes or no?
I think ride or die is definitely a real thing, definitely. But I think Keisha Kaur is an exception to a rule.
Yes.
Like that's most definitely what I feel.
I feel like it depends on what you're riding or dying through. It really just depends. Like the long and short of it is that it depends what I'm riding through.
I feel like ride or die is an unhealthy expectation that's mostly geared towards women because, let me ask you, is there such a thing as ride or die for men?
Nope.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think there is.
I
think there is for some
a
1%.
A 1%.
Less than ever expected
who
from
can
women.
say, there's 1% of people who can say, my wife cheated on me, she was disrespecting me, she was coming home all times of the night, she was spending our money, but I really held on together, and I'm really happy that we're here now.
But you know what,
Name
I think,
one.
This story doesn't explain, who says that Keisha the whole time was just like sitting at
She
home?
was. She
Was
was.
she?
Like the entire time she was with Gucci,
busy
she
making
was
millions.
ride or die.
So she wasn't cheat. She didn't cheat.
She did not cheat.
Well,
You think you'd forgive her?
She was
You think
never
you'd
in the
forgive her?
public eye.
Maybe, I don't
She
know.
was never in the public eye.
That's the thing.
So we
At
don't know what she
minimum-
did.
At minimum, but that's the thing though. At minimum, even if she did cheat, she was good enough and conscious of it to not let it get back to him, number one. And you gonna forgive a woman who, while you're in jail and getting your life back together, made you 20 million. Okay?
He will.
People heal like Wolverine when you're talking millions, okay? Like,
Let me
whatever
tell you,
she did.
This is my idea. We're gonna assume that she stayed out for context. She was a good woman. She was a good ride or die. We're gonna assume that. Now, this is my belief. I feel like if you do follow me on social media, and you guys know, I put a lot of energy into being a healthy individual for myself and for other people around me. So that standard, I needed to be with the person who I'm with, because guess what? If I'm working on being the best version of me, and of course we can help each other out here and there, but then if your job is to cause me pain and heartache and constantly worrying about you because you're disrespecting me and you're hurting me, you aren't helping build me. You are going to build yourself on the back of my own self-esteem. And assuming I'm the 1% who is successful, thank you, God. What about the 99%? What about the 99% of women who are like, oh, he's only angry, that's why he's beating me. He's just drinking because he's stressed. Or he just gambled because he wanted an outlet. Or he's just with that girl because there was something I wasn't giving him, and that's their story for the rest of their life. And they get to 50, they have no sense self-esteem, they don't feel good about themselves, and worst of all, they're at 50. So another chance of love is now harder to come by. I don't give advice when I know the chances of the best possible scenario is so low.
Especially, you know, funny enough, people don't think about this, and hand to God, I hope all of us are against this statistic, but you are more likely to become broke and homeless than you are a millionaire. Like, in dollars, you're more likely to actually go entirely broke. And I feel like this story is romantic and beautiful and sexy because these are two attractive, first of all, Keisha's gorgeous, okay? If he don't treat you right, girl, I'll marry you. But when it comes down to it, this is nice because he's a success story. He got out of everything that was pulling him down, and she was there through it all. But the stories that we're talking about that we actually relate to are like the people in like public housing, in trailers, and the people who like, you honestly think a lot of people get out of like drug addiction and all these terrible things real easily and the relationship lives that long? It doesn't. So I feel like if we're gonna give the advice and talk about how this is affecting the world, we do have to err on the side of caution as far as what the statistics go to. And you don't talk about women as like, get out. You gotta get out.
But also, this says like she was with Gucci on drugs, cheating Gucci, in jail Gucci. But at the end of the day, at that point in time, Gucci had money. Like when Gucci was doing all of this, Gucci had money. Who knows where Keisha was at her point in her life? Like who knows if maybe she was one of those chicks that just, hey, he has money, so let me get comfortable, let me settle down. You know, I'll ride for him because he's taking care of my hair, my nails, my car, my all of this. So we don't know the backstory, but Gucci had money at the end of the day, and she ended up flipping it. And like to go through that with someone, I mean, it's
people
a big
here
deal.
like Wolverine.
And I get what you're saying about like, yeah, okay, you're not just gonna stick around with someone because who knows, it might end up being a horrible story. But the reality is that, especially if you start your relationship really young, the chances are your guy is not like a guy. He's not become a man, you know. So there is like a certain extent to which you're probably going to go through a lot of stuff. The question is just like, how much are you willing to tolerate? Because to some people, cheating is just, okay, fine, he cheated, then he said sorry. To some people, I mean, the whole drugs thing is like, okay, fine, you know, it's just like it's drugs, this person drinks or whatever. But I feel if I can give my own personal experience, before I met my husband, the guy is a guy who I dated for 6 years. 6 years, you guys. And men, I was ride or die, guys. It was like, there was a point where like the relationship was not working at all, but like I felt like we had struggled through so much together, like we had a child, we had whatever, and I was just like, I can't give up on this person now, you know. And like he wasn't doing well financially, he wasn't doing well in his job, but like we just kept I just kept trying to like encourage him and like do stuff, but it reached a point where I was just like, you know what, no, I'm tired. And then I was just like, I'm out. And after that, I just told God, you know what, God, I don't have the grace and the energy to struggle with another man. Like, I need you to send me a fully formed package, okay, which came in the form of my husband. I mean, he's not perfect, but he's pretty fantastic. But I was like, it also requires a certain amount of grace, and you have to be a certain age for you to be going through that. Because when I'm 30, in my 30s, who wants to be doing that in their 30s?
That's the thing, You see, what you're referring to is things which I can take. Let me tell you the kind of problems I'm praying for, because I know we pray for good things, but we better start praying for our problems. The kind of problems in a relationship I'm thinking about is, God forbid you've lost a parent. God forbid there's something tough going on with your job. God forbid, right now, Dana's man, he's broken his leg and she's having to take care of him. That's the kind of problems we're talking about. We are going through things.
Together.
But you going through other females is not a problem we are going through. You are going through other females as an individual, and I am at home being faithful with you. There are problems which I believe that even me I could face. The beginning of this year, I lost my auntie. My dad started his mental health journey. 2 of my cousins needed emergency surgery. This was in a span of 4 months. The person who I was in a relationship with, you don't feel like that was writing? That was writing, because on the other end, I was not as present with him. I didn't have as much time. I didn't have as much finances. We can ride or die about those ones. But the ones which is you have not healed yourself and your brokenness anywhere enough for you to be a healthy person, for me, we are not riding for that.
So you ain't no Keisha.
I'm no Keisha.
When it's, but also it's like, because there's the point of, you're right, it's like, are we going through things, or have you brought me things to fix for us
to have?
Have you brought me things to fix, you know? Because at that point, he kind of brought her things to fix. And no matter when they even met, if she met him in the midst of all this, and then he got money and she was like, well, now that you have money, I'm going to try, then that's kind of her prerogative. That's her choice. I think she had to decide for herself, like, is this money worth me doing it? Because like, I have a friend and I love him to death. We've been friends for over a decade, right? And he is a musician. He actually is one of my besties, but not in the like bestie of that way. But you even made the point of that he lives in a whole other country. So it's like whenever we see each other, you know, it's happy. And it's not like we're chilling alone. Not like that, girls. But what it comes down to is he's a musician and that's fantastic and he's kind of in that music scene and I'm like, that's great. I'm supporting and that's fantastic, but from an arm's length. Because on the other end of it, he also has 3 different baby mamas. So I'm like, listen, I'm gonna be your friend that's there for you and I'm gonna like try and hold you down in the sense of I don't want you to get with a girl who sees you being a musician and then tries to like Gucci man you like, oh, maybe he's gonna get big kind of thing. But there are people like this who you have to keep at arm's length of support. It's like, I'm going to support you from here, and it's going to be loud and great, but it's going to be from over here.
And has anyone not asked themselves one simple question? Keisha is this successful, beautiful woman.
Gorgeous and smart.
Even after going through that.
Yeah.
What kind of woman would she have been if she was in a nurturing, supportive, beautiful woman? Who would she have been?
But with a guy who has that same money.
No, I'm
the
talking
guy
about
said money.
No, even if it's the same guy, because it doesn't have to be a poor and good or good and rich and bad. No, but I'm talking about a nurturing relationship. What it does to a man. Imagine if she had the same thing. You don't know what her potential, like what was hindered and what she had to sacrifice about herself, helping him go through that.
And that is true. That is what I was saying. That is true. But to a certain extent, money can buy happiness to a certain extent.
Money buys comfort, that's for sure.
I can't push that idea that you can do whatever you want because you're rich.
But that's the thing.
No, but
we don't know what kind of
options of
person
what you can
Keisha
do.
exactly.
He's cheating with fine women.
Exactly. Like,
in my personal opinion is that you will feel just as disrespected and humiliated whether or not you are in a small house or a big house. And I know it brings freedom. It absolutely brings freedom. But for us to be putting the standard of the kind of respect you should take based on how much money a guy has, I'm not going to push her, because if my sister tomorrow gets with a millionaire who's hitting her, it will not be a millionaire.
We're not saying that. We're just saying you're less likely to put up with a man who's cheating. Like, you know, he has to choose his problems. You can't be cheating and in jail and you're broke. And then, sir, excuse me, sir, you're going to have to choose a struggle.
So at least when he has money, you can say, yes, he does all these disrespectful things and etc., but you've got your Gucci bag.
when you say it out loud, it sounds bad. But I do got my Gucci bag.
You scream into your Versace pillowcase, you know?
This is a girl who's going to leave you in an instant because you don't brush your teeth right. Don't listen to her. Whether you've got money or
you need to brush your teeth right.
It's true.
Exactly. So why are you preaching what you definitely don't practice?
I mean, I do.
No, you don't. She has got men who are rich, but she won't see past what she doesn't like about them.
Hey, live television don't need to know that. Like, we digress. We are talking about Gucci and the ride or die Keisha. Keisha, I respect you for being a ride or die. Girl, there are such things as ride or die. And if you're that kind of strong enough woman to handle a man who cheats on you, which is very hurtful, I wouldn't do it. Neither would Lydia, obviously. But if you're able to handle that kind of man, by all means, do you. But I think she is an exception to the rule. I think to each their own.
And also, a huge misconception. Strength is not the fact that you're staying. And strength is not because you're leaving. Strength is making a decision for your life based on the consequences which you can put up with. So let's say, man, let's go to game time, honey.
Yeah. A classic, but I'm already afraid because, yes, I snooped at the questions. It's, are you smarter than a 6th grader?
I'm not. Really?
I definitely ain't either.
So, okay.
Are we?
So we just, no, I'm going to ask and we're all going to answer.
All of them?
What?
Yeah, because it doesn't say the answer.
But what are these?
Also answers. Also whatever.
We all have our questions.
Yeah,
don't we?
We all have questions. There are no names.
Why don't
Just
we
give
each
us
select
one.
Okay.
Each of us.
No names, just whichever one.
Okay. So
Okay.
you ask.
Is it supposed to be like fast or what?
I don't know.
Oh, you open it up, guys.
Okay, so are you so ready?
There's
So who wants to be?
There's a 10 seconds for each question. 10 seconds
Okay.
to answer.
So I guess,
Okay.
Joe,
There's your
I will
timer.
ask you, and you'll ask me.
Okay.
So you can ask me. If you
Okay. What is the primary function of a cell? Is it to tell cell what to do? Is it gives the cell its shape? Huh?
Of a cell
Allows
what?
cell to hang up pictures, gives the cell its protein. The question doesn't even make sense.
There are different kinds of
The
cells.
primary function of a cell.
Primary function
Yeah.
now.
Go
So
on.
ask it
The
again.
primary function of
To
a
tell
cell.
the cell what to do, to give the cell its shape, to allow the cell to hang up pictures, to give the cell its
Oh,
protein.
no, it's what is the primary function of a cell wall?
Of a cell wall,
okay.
yeah. Okay,
You
thank
forgot
you.
one word,
I
guys.
was like, of a cell wall, yeah,
Okay.
it's to hold its shape.
To give the cell its shape. Is
Yeah.
that
Is
correct?
Is that correct? Yep.
Thank you.
Okay, well done. You are half smarter. Second question. Plants' leaves use dash to capture light from the sun.
Oh, chloroplast.
That's not even one of the options. I'm gonna need you to be humble. Okay. Chlorophyll.
Yeah, wait, just
There's chlorophyll, stomata, water, or glucose.
chlorophyll.
Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay.
There's another one at the back.
Oh, okay, fine. Third one. What is the distance an object travels over a certain amount of time?
I hate physics.
One, volume, light year, motion, or speed.
Wait,
Wait,
the
what's the
question?
question?
The distance an object travels over a certain amount of time.
Speed,
Speed.
I think.
Yes.
Boom.
Wow, you are smarter than a
My heart
6-year-old.
is heavy.
Okay.
So do I ask Joe now?
Yeah.
Okay, so
just gonna
which of these is the true, I assume, function of your heart? A, holds your emotions. B, it's a muscle. C, filled with oxygen. Or D, carries carbon dioxide to your cells.
I'm gonna need you to tell me the choices
Say
again.
that again.
The true function of your heart is A, holds your emotions. B, it's a muscle. C, filled with oxygen. Or D, carries carbon dioxide to your cells.
It's a muscle.
D.
It is a muscle.
It is a muscle, but
Is that it?
I think it's D.
No, it's your blood that
No,
carries oxygen.
Oh.
D.
See, it's D.
It
See?
carries
To
carbon
carry carbon
dioxide to
dioxide
your
to-
cells.
Oh, carry.
Yeah.
I guess
Carbon
it,
dioxide or
Carbon
oxygen?
dioxide.
it actually functions as both because your heart is
Yeah,
what
it goes in and
trans.
out.
Carbon dioxide
Oxygenates your
comes to the
blood.
heart and then
It goes
then
out.
oxygen
As
goes out.
oxygenated blood.
All right, and what
So
is
it's
it?
oxygen. So we'll
So
go
yeah,
with that one.
thank you. God, I was like, am I dumber
Yeah.
than data? Okay.
So okay, so the next one is Earth is the only planet in the solar system that's A, with an atmosphere, B, rotates on an axis, or C, with a moon, or D, known to support life.
Oh.
You know
Known to
this.
support life.
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
okay.
I just wanted to be sure. 'cause I'm like,
Because
atmosphere.
all planets have atmospheres and axes.
All right,
and
continue.
moons.
Okay, thank you.
So the next is, what are chemicals that help break down food? A, carbohydrates, carbohydrates, I assume, lipids, enzymes, or minerals.
No idea, baby.
Which help break down food.
Yeah.
Enzymes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, Lord. Yeah, we good.
Smart.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm
God,
scared
don't put
for
no
you, Nia.
pressure. we all got things that we're good at. This is not mine.
I mean, you're cute.
So,
So,
yeah. Cute as hell. What does ROM stand for? ROM, sorry. ROM stand for Remote Operated Motor, Rotate Over Mars, Read Only Memory.
Don't.
A?
No, no.
Isn't it?
It's
No,
C.
it's
C.
Because a ROM as in like a
C.
CD-ROM.
Oh, CD-ROM.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
my
God, go out of
Okay,
that
wrong.
ROM.
I knew that
God. Come on, Lydia.
Okay, I'll give you the...
Two bones joined together at the
Knee.
No.
two bones joined together as she said, humble yourself and hear the truth. Ribs, spine, skeleton, joint.
Joint.
Yes. I was giving you as like joint.
It's a knee. The joint.
Which one is not a layer of the earth? Mantle, magma, crust, inner core.
Mantle.
I think that's right.
Oh, yeah.
Wrong?
No.
Oh, magma.
Magma.
Wow.
Whatever. Anyways.
Magma.
So what did she get? 1 out of 3?
Magma is part of a
Did she get a
volcano.
third?
No, so you gave her 3 questions.
Okay.
Oh. So you got
Okay.
33%, just saying.
Okay, I don't know. Okay, what is the process by which caterpillars become butterflies? This is easy. Life cycle, metamorphosis, variation, or adaptation?
What the
Come on.
fuck?
Come on,
Come
everyone.
on.
Butterflies go through
Butterflies, life cycle,
Don't give her-
metamorphosis, variation, or adaptation.
It's
Metamorphosis.
Yes,
Yes, thank you.
But your friends rooting for you to win. I'm like, don't even tell her.
Third grade. That's like third grade. What is density? The amount of mass per unit of volume, the color of a mass, the height of a shape, the length per volume.
What's the first one?
The amount of mass per unit of volume.
Yeah.
No?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Now
Is
three.
it correct?
Now
it is
three.
correct, yeah.
Ready? What is the area of a rectangle? A equals S squared. A equals WL. A equals W plus L plus L. Now when I'm just
just
like,
guess.
I think
just
it's
guess.
A equals W.
Who asked you, sis?
Sorry, say the choices again.
A equals S squared. A equals WL.
Yeah.
A equals W plus L plus L. Isn't that the same
second
thing?
one.
Shut up.
Yes,
It is.
No, she didn't. No, she didn't.
Dana told you.
Dana didn't tell me. I didn't even hear what you said.
Oh, that's what she said.
Well, then y'all are yelling at me.
What is WL?
Sorry. Width times length,
Times
right?
length.
Dana and Joe, 3 out of
Yeah.
3.
We're smarter than 6th graders.
I am not,
Maybe we're in high
but
school.
God, thank you so much for my other talent.
And my college education.
So, to conclude, I feel like, this Gucci, Keo, whatever, I feel like it's to each their own. There are consequences to both of these. There's the one where maybe you don't write for him at that time and then he ends up being the best thing in the world and you missed out on the best thing. Or there's the one where you do write for him and you just keep writing until you die.
Yep.
He doesn't change. It doesn't become this love story. You know what I mean? So the consequences are completely up to you. Is that a fair?
Yeah.
comment?
Either you'll ride until you die.
And sometimes the reason you leaving is why he's successful. Like you leaving was the kick in the pants. So sometimes even you never really know. You
never
really just
do.
don't know. It's
Yeah,
hard.
this is I feel like my motto. I will ride or die. I just don't want to be the ride. So
Yeah.
I
I'll
also
hear
don't
you
want to
out.
die.
Let's go through this. The financial problems, things have gone wrong in your job, your family crisis, etc. Children, school fees, businesses. Those are problems which we can totally discuss. I won't leave someone because things like that are happening for them. But don't be the thing that's happening to me.
Most definitely, and I feel like I have to say, Keisha is an exception to the rule. You
Yeah.
do not have to settle, and don't settle for what you feel is uncomfortable relationship.
Absolutely.
Most
You don't
definitely.
have to
Lydia.
force comfort, and you never should have to force comfort.
Yes.
We want to be ending the day with a good quote, a quote of the day. Do you guys have any quotes that you feel are like particularly inspiring?
I do. We have not because we ask not. That is my yes.
20,000 times.
All the
I
time.
don't have any.
You don't have any?
I hadn't thought of any. I'm
I
not like
know.
a quotes person.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, go on. Dana.
The only thing that comes to mind was something I read earlier that was the idea that you made up about me in your head is not my responsibility.
Yes, wow, 100%. When it comes to who I am, my body, all those whatever, not my responsibility. I feel like we end with one beautiful one. A day without laughter is a day wasted. And today, the day is not over. We still have midnight. Go and find something to watch or go and call your funny friend and definitely make sure you laugh today. And we hope we've made you laugh a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Thank you so much for being here. Tomorrow is Furahi Day, so we are going to be having the weekend starter here. Make sure you're tuned in tomorrow at 6 p.m. My name is Lydia KM, and that's Lydia KM on all social media handles.
My name is Dana DeGrazia. It's Hustle Goddess Online.
And my name is Naomi Wamboy, WAMBOE on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter.
And I'm Joanne at yummymommy.ke on all social media platforms. See you tomorrow.
Bye.
This dish is bananas. Beep.